Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this MYXclusive interview. I'm VJ IE, and for today, we have a very young artist. He's just 20 years old. He's an R&B and hip-hop artist from Cebu, where he's actually right now at. And we are going to be learning more about his song called Damage with Sin Santos. He just released the music video. Actually, it's just going to be released on May 16, and we are going to be knowing more about how he started in the industry and what his music is about. Please welcome Trev.
Yo, what's up? Thank you so much for having me, and to Mix as well. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for giving us some of your time. Please greet everyone watching right now on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok.
Yeah, so I'd like to greet everyone who's actually tuning into Mix. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's such a blessing to be here, and such a pleasure to be here as well.
So, based from what you said, have you always been watching Mixbu before when you were much younger?
You know, growing up, like I used to watch TV, and this was I learned about Mix, and Mix was somehow like the MTV of the Philippines. And I was blessed to have VJ Sam over back in I think it was 2019. We had her for an event, and we even got a tour around in Cebu. We had her go to a tuslubwa place, and we got to talk as well.
I'm sorry, to what place again?
A tuslubwa place?
What's a tuslubwa place?
It's somehow like a local kind of food. I'm quite not sure what the materials are, but you place it in some kind of sauce and then you eat it. It's like street food.
Oh, what's it made of though?
I'm quite not sure actually. I'm from Cebu, but I don't know.
But I'm sure it's delicious. If a place can be called a tuslubwa place, then it must be a great delicacy there in Cebu. I've never tried that before. But hello to everyone watching from Cebu. Would you like to greet them in Cebuano?
Yeah, mayong hapon ninyo tanan na ni tanaw sa Mix. So that's actually good afternoon to everyone in Cebuano.
Yay! Thank you so much for being here, Trev. So let's get right to it. How did you get started in music? Like, where did your love for music come from, Trev?
You know, growing up, I think my family was a really musically inclined family. Like my mom, my dad, they could sing. And so growing up with them, going in car rides, you could always hear music being played. And I also got to spend time with my grandparents who were avid 60s music listeners. So I got a lot of influence from my parents who listened to 80s music, but from my grandparents who listened to 60s music. And so growing up, I was that kid that they'd ask to like sing in events, you know, that kind of kid who'd like sing all these, you know, those usual karaoke songs that.
And were you the type of kid who was willing, or who had to be paid to do it, or were you the shy one, or were you super game?
I think I get my confidence from my dad, so I feel that I am confident when it comes to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then from there, going into high school, starting to like hang out with different kind of friends, I started getting into hip hop. That was the time, I think I was in the 8th grade when Drake's biggest song called Hotline Bling was #1 on Billboard. And that was the time I really got into hip hop. I got into other artists like Bryson Tiller, Trey Songz. Those are R&B artists. And from there, I started making covers in the 10th grade. And I released my first song after I released a few covers. It was called Purple Dreams. And that was released on November 11 of 2017. I was 16 that time. And then from there, from there, it just started going, and I released more tracks, and now I'm here.
Ooh. All right. Before we continue, we've got an update what tuslubwa is from Tough Gans.
That's
Tough
my
Gans
mom.
says, "Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
pig brain." Sabi
Okay.
niya, your mom, hello po. Thank you so much for that trivia. It's pig brain pala.
Yeah.
Okay. So you let VJ Sam eat tuslubwa.
Yes, when she was here in Cebu.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Well, we hope that we get to visit Cebu again. But going back to your story. So, when you were a kid, it was classical, old school, 80s, 60s, and then you discovered Drake and the whole R&B world. So now, like, how would you describe Trev's music, your sound?
The way to describe my sound is really a mix of R&B and hip hop. You in some of my tracks, you can hear me singing. Like in tracks like Purple Dreams, Hurt the Ones I Love. I also had a recent release called Fallen Off. I was really singing there. And in some tracks, you can hear my rapper voice, which is in
Mhm.
tracks like Say It, Maria, and this one Damage. I also do a rap here. So yeah, I'm always switching between those two kind of voices. They're my singing voice and my rap voice. So it's either one of those two voices I use. So it's really just a mix of hip hop and R&B.
But before you delved into hip hop and R&B, like were you also that kid who would join contests or perform in school programs?
I think the school would always like every time there was an event. I remember I think it was in the 11th grade. We
Mm-hmm.
had a marketing convention in SMC side, and it's a big mall here in Cebu, and
Mm-hmm.
so they were looking for someone to perform songs. So I performed two songs. One was by Michael Bublé, "The Way You Look Tonight," and the
Oh,
second song,
standard. Oh.
yeah, the second song I performed was my own "Purple Dreams." So yeah, they do get me for school events, and I was that kid.
Trev, sorry, can we hear like a short sample of your version of The Way You Look Tonight? Like we just want to hear you who is a hip hop and R&B artist sing a Michael Bublé
I was
song.
like, I was like, when was that? Like, I think it was like someday when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow. So I can also do that R&B kind of song.
Yay! Thanks. Thanks for that sample. Okay. But now, okay, let's go to your turf, hip hop and R&B. Congratulations by the way. Your music has made it to top Spotify editorial playlists like Pinoy Rap, Pizza Rhymes, Philippines Viral 50. Congratulations on that. And you're just 20 years old. That's great. That's incredible. So, let's talk about what you want to achieve more with your career. Like, is there a goal in mind? Is there a place that you'd like to play?
Really, the way I see my career is the way they call me actually is like I'm a hustler.
Mm.
Because like I'm a 20-year-old student. I still go to college at the moment. It's my first year in college. I'm
Oh,
just
what
about to
course?
marketing management.
Oh, in which school?
The University of San Carlos here. It's a
Ah,
university based
yes.
in Cebu. And
Mm.
more than doing that full-time school thing, I also do a full-time job with an artist management company, which is based in Australia. And that artist management company also has a PR branch. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really important as an artist for you to actually learn the business of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I also write for another publication based in the Philippines as well. We do promote like local musicians, and so I have two jobs, and then the artist career and the student life as well. So really, like the way I see myself as someone being in the industry as well as being in the background of the industry, like working there as artist management, doing PR, more than just being the artist itself.
Wow. May we know the name of the artist management company from Australia that you work for?
It's called Day One's Management, and
And how did you get involved in that? I mean, you're you're barely into college and you're already employed. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So the story of how I got involved in that job was pretty funny as well. I
Mhm.
went to an event. I performed an event
Okay.
back in 2020, before the pandemic actually, and so they have Filipino Australian artists who are based in Australia, and then they came to the Philippines, and
Okay.
so we got to connect with them, and then what apparently they were looking for a writer, someone who could write press releases and send them out
Okay.
and like do be the PR manager of some artists. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm down for it. It's the pandemic and I want to do something productive. So I started that job back in March of 2020. And then from there, I've just been working for them for over a year already. And an interesting story about that company as well. It's the way that I got connected to Sin Santos as well, who's the person on my track, because he
Mm-hmm.
was actually an artist which we used to manage in day ones, and so that's how we got connected. So I used to work as his A&R and his publicist, and now we're doing a collab.
Oh. Okay, how about the local company that you also work for?
That's Beat This PH, and
Mhm.
I think we had a few events as well where Mix was present. We had some events here in Cebu, and we also had two events actually in Manila prior to the lockdown. And we were supposed to have more events, but the pandemic hit.
Oh, so it's a company that launches events, basically.
Yeah, it's an event company which goes to support local musicians, most especially musicians which are involved in the computer side of producing music.
Ooh. So how did you get involved in naman sa Beat This PH?
So how I got involved with them was actually going through. I had this radio interview back
Okay.
in I think it was in 2018, and so
Mm-hmm.
what do you call this? The presenter there was actually starting this local movement called Beat This PH, and then we started having different events. We
Mm-hmm.
started to get to know different artists from Cebu, like Bidnasty, Karen Sita, Cookies, some recognizable names here in Cebu. And then from there, we just started forming a community. And from there, like I told the presenter there that, I can write articles, I can write press releases. So why don't you get me as your writer? And then from there, I was also given the position of media relations, wherein when there were events, I was the one who was inviting media over to our events.
Oh, wow. I can't believe you're doing all of this and you're just in your first year of college. Like you're so outgoing, you're sociable, you have all these connections and you just made it out of your teenage years. That is amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, and you still have time for your own music.
yep. Sometimes things do get hectic. You work a full time job, you have school, you have some projects here and there, and then you still want to put your music out. So actually, it's just about to hit like the finals week for us by next week, and I'm still releasing a music video on Sunday.
I know. Okay, let's talk about Damage now. Your collaboration with Sin Santos. So how did this song come about?
Okay, so how this song came about, like I mentioned to you, Sin Sanos was actually an artist that we managed previously in Day One's management. And so I
Mhm.
was working as his publicist and A&R, trying to get him some bookings and some bookings here in the Philippines and in Australia as well. And then from there, we got to connect because he was actually Filipino. He came from Bulacan and then he moved to Melbourne back in 2010. And so that's how we got to connect. We just got to bond over us being Filipino. And I had this I released Maria back in June of 2020.
Mhm.
And from there, my producer sent me this dancehall type beat. It's very reminiscent of DJ Snake, but what was this? J Baldwin, those kind of artists. And
Mhm.
so when I heard the beat, I was like, okay, I think what would be perfect on this would be me doing the rap verse and someone else doing the chorus, a melodic artist. And
Mhm.
so when I heard Sinsano's different tracks, I was like, okay, I think this guy is perfect for the chorus on this track. And then from there, it was so interesting because Melbourne is actually 2 hours ahead of 2 hours ahead of the Philippines, and so he'd wake up at around 4 a.m. our time, and then he would send me these vocal snippets from his phone, and then he'd be like, "Yo, Trev, is this good?" And then I'd reply about 4 hours later at 8, or like once I wake up, and
Mhm.
then I'd I'd say, "Okay, maybe adjust it a little bit," and then he'd reply after he gets off work as well. So there's really like that challenge of like getting
Mhm.
things together. And when it came to the music video as well, what's interesting about this is we're filming in separate locations. So we just filmed the music video on Saturday and Sunday for my part, along with some dancers, an actress, and our director, actually Ryan Kanda, is on the comments as well. And Sin Santos filmed his part in Australia, and now we're gonna compile that and put it out on Sunday.
Ooh. Okay. So was this song done during the pandemic?
Yeah, it was. The beat was sent over to me by my producer back in November, I think, of 2020, and then I had it sitting there for a bit because I was just trying to think what topic would be best to place on a track like this. It's very fierce.
Mhm.
It's very strong, and then that's when I wrote the verse. I wrote the verse actually back in January, and then I had the two verses lined up, and I was like, okay, now I'm missing the chorus and the bridge, and that's when I hit up Sin, like, hey bro, could you do a chorus and a bridge for this track? And that's when we did it.
Nice. Well, it's probably like 6:21 p.m. in Melbourne right now. I wish we could talk to Sin. If you're there in the comment section, sound off. But okay, let's talk about the music video. So, what was your role here in this music video? Because as Ryan Kanda is commenting right now, yes, he's saying catch Mary Del Cascabel on
On
the
his
music
memory.
video. Yes. I guess there's a story because he used some actors here. So what's the concept gonna be, Trev?
Okay, so first I'd like to explain the story of the track. What's the
Okay.
story of Damage? It's really just related to my previous track called Fallen Off. In Fallen Off, what the story of that track was really just telling this girl that, hey, you gotta trust me. I do have that like kind of playboy image because of the rapper, especially with my previous release from Maria. So really, my tracks are somehow like the story of my life. They're all connected in a way, and there's certain parts of my life that I want to put out and I think that people can relate to in some
Mhm.
way. And so in Falling Off, that was me like lowering myself and saying that, hey, I may have that kind of bad boy kind of image, but I'm not that. and then that's why in Fallen Off you hear me singing, and it's much more like being this kind of nice guy or like the good guy. But in Damage, what I wanted to do on this track was really contrast it with that previous track. So in this track, I bring out the rapper persona and just let it out. Like I bring out my achievements, I bring out the different things I've done as a rapper, and I say that this is why you gotta get with me because I'm a rapper. I can do this, and it's really just talking about the achievements on Damage and like the different things I've worked on for the past 3 years as I've been an artist. And
Mhm.
so with the story of the track, there's somehow like a timeline to it. It's we got an actress, Zed Lim Labrado. She's actually on the comments as well. And what the story of the track was there's this rapper guy, and he has that rapper kind of image, and he has the expensive sports car, and then he tries to approach a girl, but the girl just says, "No, you look like those typical playboys." and then so that's when the track starts. And then when the track starts, what's funny about it was that I go into the condo, and then I start cleaning the condo. I start ironing clothes. I start cooking food
Mhm.
while wearing that rapper outfit because the usual
And
rapper
was this your real condo, like where you're at right now?
No, I
Oh,
rented out
okay.
a condo in Banawa, a place in Cebu. And so,
All right.
the usual rapper image is really just this flex. Yeah, I got money, I don't work, I just make music. But
Mhm.
what Ryan and I wanted to do with this with this music video was really just give a contrast to that usual rapper image. I had got the look in that music video wearing the trench coat, wearing the chains, the glasses, and then I got the dancers in the back as well. And
Mhm.
while I'm cleaning while I'm mopping the floor, ironing out clothes, washing clothes, and you really don't expect a rapper to be doing that.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so it's really just like telling that girl that I approached that, hey, look, like I may look like a rapper, but I still work. Like I still work at home. Like I still clean. I still wash my clothes,
Mhm.
and that's when at the turning point in the music video, the girl sees me like wiping the windows and with that trench coat, It's just so funny filming that, and at the end, that's when she actually comes over to the house, and that's when she changes her mind. Like, oh, I was wrong about judging you. It's
Mhm.
you're not the typical rapper.
Yes, there's more than meets the eye or that meets the typical rapper outfit. And
Yep.
as your director Ryan Kanda says, you'll see a rapper who can do house chores. That is very fresh to the eyes. We can't wait to see it. Again, to everyone watching, it's coming out on May 16. That is this
On
Sunday.
Sunday. Yep.
Yes. Any specific time you're gonna premiere the music video?
We don't have any specific time, but I'll be sure to announce that on my social media once we get the specific time when we premiere the music video.
All right. By the way, where can they follow you? Which are your social media accounts online?
All right, so you can usually find me on Instagram. It's at Trevor Silriosa. That's my full name. And on Facebook, you can find me on my Facebook page at Trev Said Music. And that's also the same handle for my YouTube channel, where you can find my different music videos, and you can see Damage on there on Sunday. And on Twitter, you can find me at Trev Said. And on Spotify, you can just search Trev in all capital letters, and you should see me on there.
Trev, what else do you have in store for us for the rest of 2021? Any other collaborations lined up? Any more songs? I know you're very busy with your school and your two jobs, but anything else we can expect from you soon?
Definitely. Actually, I have 3 songs which are lined up for this year ready to go, with one
Ooh.
song set to release in July and another one set to release in September, and the last one for November. And then I have 2 more tracks which I plan to release by next year. And with these tracks, they're a continuation to the story of Damage. So it's really just like a sort of like story of my life thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. And Trev, speaking of your life, it's eventful. You know, at such a young age, you have been achieving so much. You've been doing so much. So I think, you know, for you, sky's the limit. If ever you're going to be collaborating with other artists, is there a dream collab that you're eyeing? Because nothing's impossible for you right now. I mean, you're achieving so much at such a young age. So who would you like to collaborate with if,
You
let's
know,
say, sky's the limit?
I do listen. If you check my Spotify account, like, I listen to so many artists, and that's just where I get inspiration from. There are a lot of artists I get inspiration from, but if I were to pick one artist that I would want to collab with, I think it would be Drake, because Drake and I, we somehow share the same like delivery. Drake, and some of his songs, like in his older album Take Care, you can see him singing, rapping, and being, the sad about love. And
Mhm.
then, but on his newer tracks like Money in the Grave, you can see him just being hype. And yeah, just that's just something like me as well. Like, on some of my tracks, you can see me being sad, and on some tracks, you can see me being hype as well. And if there were some other artists that I would like to collab with, I think Lil TJ would be one of them. Lil TJ is a rapper from America, and what was interesting about him is I'm actually called TJ as well, because my name is Trevor Jules. And Lil TJ, he was also born on the same. He was born in April 30, 2001. I was born in April 22, 2001. So we're pretty close by. So if I wanted to collab, I'd really love to do a collab with Lil TJ and like all Drake, Lil TJ, all the bigger artists right now in hip hop.
Exactly. And as you said before, Drake was the artist that started it all for you when it comes to hip hop and R&B. But how about locally? Who would like to collaborate with?
Hmm. In locally. Okay, I think there's definitely a lot of talent coming from Cebu that you might not have known of. Like, there's this one rapper, he goes by the name of Mr. Lefty, and
Mm-hmm.
this kid is also 21 years old, I think. And this kid can really just pull off that Kendrick Lamar type of flow. If I wanted to collab, it'd be him actually from Cebu. He has that amazing talent. And in Manila, on the other hand, if I wanted to collab with someone from Manila, I think Curtis Smith is one that I'd like to collab with. I think we share the same kind of sound, where it's hip hop and it's rap and it's in English as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll definitely be waiting for that, for those collabs in the future now that we've manifested into the world.
Mhm.
But before we let you go, Trev, can we hear a short sample of Damage? Like any part of the song that you want, any favorite lines that you have for those who haven't heard of the track yet?
I think my favorite line from that track is it's I think there's a lot of quotables from there. It's really just me elaborating on my lifestyle as a rapper, you know. Like in one part there I say I got different income streams, I can pay for a routine, I got money on my mind, modesty on the line, and I'm running out of time, but for you I'll make the time, huh? And like it's like girl, I make the time. Shawty real fine girl, you been on my mind. And I keep it low key because I'm on my grind. Let me show you how I do it. Give me one more night. And it's really just that.
Yay! Thank you for the sample, Trev. Do you have any message for all of your supporters?
Yo, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been supporting me. You know, I've been an artist for about 3 years. There have been people that have been supporting me all the way from from when I started, and I still see some of them like being there, and I really do appreciate you. And like to the people who have been working with me in the background, like my producer, Mr. Francis Nair. He's my classmate all the way back from grade 8, and we
Oh.
just been friends. And another best friend of mine, Kenneth Yap. He's also my classmate and my producer for my first song. They've been with me from the start. Santi Lava as well. He's he's also my producer as well. And was also my best friend. I've been working with these amazing people, and to like my different directors for my music videos, Kirk, Ryan. I really do appreciate you all. Like the artist isn't complete without the team backing him behind, and without that correct team to back you up, I don't think you'd be as much as a great artist as you are if you don't have that great team to like have your back. And you really just need, if you want to get like a good career, you want to have the right people on your side when you're going up.
That is true. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that you have already learned early on, which is why you're where you are right now. I mean, you're so well connected. Well, I can just judge you from this first meeting that you really connect with people easily. You're very sociable. And I think you will really go a long way if you have that mindset that it's not really all you. It takes a village, to really succeed in life. So congratulations again on your successes. And again, to everyone watching, please do stream Damage and wait for the music video to come out on Sunday, May 16. We hope that you also get to vote for it on our official website, mixph.com, so that it can enter our charts once it comes out. So thank you so much, Trev, for joining us, and to everyone watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Once again, I'm BJIE for this MYXclusive interview with Trev.
Thank you so much once again. It's been a pleasure to be on here.